Hey there, internet friends. Trevor Starkey here with another video preview from PAX East 2020. Here with Logan Wilkinson. Logan Wilkinson, you wanted to talk about The Red Lantern by Timberline Studios.
Yeah.
Timberland Studio Inc.
Mhm.
So tell us a little bit about The Red Lantern.
Yeah, the Red Lantern's really neat. It's very much kind of this beautiful kind of, I guess you call it like cell shaded kind of art style, very kind of reminiscent of Firewatch and those kind of games. And it's set in the Alaskan wilderness. It is a woman trying to train for the Iditarod race with her pack of dogs after some sort of incident occurred in her life. And it's very kind of chill, meditative vibes, and just kind of exploring this just beautifully done landscape image they did. I talked and had my demo with the lead kind of art designer for the game. I'm going to pick his brain about just kind of the decision to set it in Alaska, the kind of landscapes he chose to do. There are 5 different biomes in the game, like a forest one, kind of a lake one, and the ones I saw at the very least are all super beautiful. They're all super short too, so it's easy to kind of navigate to each one very quickly. But yeah, it's a really neat title, very kind of somber. A young woman's journey to kind of find herself and discover herself, mixed with the pack of dogs that you lead in, right? And in the demo I played, he mentioned that my kind of build of the game had 5 dogs in the team. You will be able to get up to 9 and pick from an even larger selection, each with their own personalities and characteristics and traits and kind of waiting animations and motion animations and kind of reactions to the interactions and kind of animals you would discover around you. And then each of the dogs, which I found really fun, will have their own kind of personal narratives and kind of arcs of like why they act that way, like what's going to happen with them on the journey. And all will also be influenced by the decisions you make and kind of the quick second reactions you have to here's a deer, here's a bear, here's a squirrel. And yeah, it's really rad.
Yeah, you mentioned in part some of the art style. One of the things that drew you to it was it kind of has a Firewatch vibe to
Very
it.
much so. Yeah.
I remember seeing this, I think, first in Kind of Funny Games Showcase was where I first heard of this one. You also have Ashley Birch voicing your kind of protagonist character. Does she have a name?
I don't believe she does as of yet.
But yeah, I remember and seeing like her pet the dog, which everybody loves.
Absolutely.
But then also dogs being in mortal terror and peril and stuff like that. And it seems. I feel like I remember hearing at some point that it's kind of got like rogue-like qualities behind it.
Way more than I thought it would going into it, right? Like I thought it'd be
You thought this was going to be like a Firewatch, they're going to tell me
much
a story.
more of a narrative thing, and like it definitely is, that is kind of a strong part of it, but it's tied in with this actually really interesting and surprisingly deep from what I played roguelike elements in the title, right? Like it very much is a thing of like you're going to fail kind of a lot, or you're going to kind of stumble a lot, and you kind of learn from each one of those lessons, each one of the failures, right? Like measuring the 3 kind of bars at the top of the screen for your dog's health, your health, and then like hunger levels, and kind of balancing off those, right? Like in the build I had, my player started with 5 bullets for her rifle, I think 1 piece of meat, and then just that was it, and she was set off on the world to kind of discover more kind of things to eat for the food. Discover more bullets. You can find like random drops of them around the thing. I didn't. And then you can also go hunt. And the thing about hunting is it's this kind of almost Oregon Trail-y thing where you can kind of choose to disregard the animal, investigate the animal, or go try to hunt it. And then if you choose to go hunt it, you can choose to obviously shoot it. And if you do, it's a like success failure ratio thing, like where you could hit it, where you could not hit it, and then like depending on the animal and depending on like I think your own exhaustion levels, it'll like influence into how likely you are to get a hit. And then also, even if you get a hit, it might not be a kill shot, so you basically could waste a bullet and then maybe find the animal later on, maybe not. And all of that kind of played out, I think, in really interesting dynamics. I had a lot of different kind of playthroughs of the thing while at my appointment, and some of them I was super successful and had a lot of kills and a lot of hunts and did very successful, and other ones I like crashed and burned really fast. And one of my favorite moments of the demo actually was I went to just go like investigate a deer one time, or like I think there was a deer that like was right in front of the like dogs mushing, and just like stopped right in front of us, and so I went to go investigate it, and basically I was like, oh, I am like, my dogs and myself were super low on health. We were very hungry, so it's draining our stamina. We need food. A giant caribou is going to give us a lot of that. And then in that, when I went to go investigate, the deer walked up directly in front of us, and where its face and eyes were looking directly at me. And then I was like, well, I can't shoot a deer point blank. Like, it was right there. And so, like, I made the decision not to kill the deer, not to do that. And in doing, I went on my playthrough more, and then a minute later, we all ran out of basically our health bar because we didn't have anything to eat, and we died, so we had to start the thing over again, right? And the developer was like, yeah, it's a decision we want to make it a bit of a harder call to hunt or not hunt these things, and kind of have them have their own kind of things where it's like, you could choose to kill that deer point blank, it's just, you're watching the thing die, you basically bury the bullet in its brains, and I was like, well, I just don't want to be that kind of person.
Yeah.
And that was very neat. And then kind of adding into that roguelike elements and is the survival aspect of the game, where you have like your own campsite where you can cook food and kind of measure, like they're talking about like measuring like wood supplies later on in the game's build, and just kind of tools, and then like med kits for the human character, and just kind of balancing all the different things and supplies, and you can only have so much room. And it was very neat. It was way deeper of a both survival game and a rogue than I thought it was going to be going in.
Great. Do you have any kind of final thoughts on the game that you want to share?
For me, it's definitely early.
Yeah.
They mentioned that it was very early alpha. Like, it's going to be like a next gen game that they kind of are eyeing, so it won't even come out until sometime in the first half is what they're currently eyeing of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
But what I saw, like Ashley Birch obviously is great. The narrative teases there are in the game are super intriguing to me. Like, it definitely has kind of calls to, like, Into the Wild,
mm-hmm.
Which I really dug, and I really enjoyed the movie. And so that mixed with the dogs each kind of having their own unique kind of storylines and like narrative arcs, and being these kind of fully fleshed out characters. Like, even when I went to go to the campsite and then I could choose to like individually pet each of the dogs, each of them reacted differently. Some of them were more just kind of like standoffish. Some of them like immediately rolled on their backs and wanted like belly rubs. Some wanted like rubs behind the ears. Like, they each kind of did different things. And then even when you're going to like mush them and you're like waiting and not like going yet, some will just like lay about. Some will be like very like antsy, like wanting to go. And so I just like think it's so much deeper than I thought it was going to be. It's much more engaging. And then I could genuinely look at like the like art of the game all day long. Like, it's got a day-night cycle built into it, and the sunsets and like the Alaskan wilderness were just incredible. So it's very cute. It's very fun. I think it's going to have a really cool, engaging narrative for like why the young kind of female protagonist went out to Alaska and what kind of compelled her to be there. And yeah, it's just a really neat game. It was one of my favorites from the first day of PAX.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2-3 days later, time's a flat circle at PAX.
Yeah.
It's still one of the highlights, I think, of the convention for me.
Great. Yeah. It definitely struck me when I first saw it, and I'm looking very forward to. I've loved hearing you talk about it this weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm very looking forward to seeing it when it comes out.
Yes.
I believe it's been announced for Xbox One and Switch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if it's been announced for PlayStation 4. I imagine it would be.
I imagine.
But I also remember it was announced as it'll come to Xbox One Game Pass when it comes out. So, so keep an eye out for The Red Lantern when it comes out, whenever that may be.
Yes.
Thank you, Logan, for joining me to discuss the game.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you for checking out this video, and please feel free to check out any more of our PAX East 2020 content here on the channel. As always, stay nerdy and be good to each other.